Y'all know nothing about this. You need to pay attention. Sit back and relax. It's time for Goodall's Country Kitchen.
All right, we're out here in Cox's Creek, just across the Nelson County line at High Grove Store. First, before I get into the review, I want to thank my followers. We just hit 500,000 views this past week. And for what started out as just some home movies on vacation, going out to eat, has now evolved into a full-blown YouTube channel. So I appreciate everybody that's watching. And go ahead, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that. All right, so today we've kind of got like a three-part video. Of course, I want to do the restaurant here at the High Grove Store, which I've heard a lot of good things about. Also want to get this antique store that's right behind here. What's the name of it, Dad?
Useful Things.
Useful Things Antiques. Heard a lot of great stuff about that. My dad actually knows the owners there. And
Good people.
But one thing I got to touch on before we get going in here, I always like to research places before I eat. And Cox's Creek, the community, I was researching it, and I didn't realize until just yesterday that this community goes back 242 years during the times of the American Revolution. And Cox's Creek was actually named after Colonel Isaac Cox, who established a Revolutionary War era fort here that was called Cox's Station, which was here, opened, established in 1780, and protected the settlers all the way until the end of the Revolutionary War in 1783, and then for several years after that during the Northwest Indian Wars. But anyway, I'm going to touch more in depth on that history at the end of the video. So for you all that want to hear more history about that, be sure and stick around and check that out. And we're going to go in right now and check out some of this biscuits and gravy. All right, I'm going to come on in here, take a look around. And you can see this is definitely the country store atmosphere here. Got your drinks, groceries. This is a full grocery store. You can get just about anything you want in here. All kinds of good stuff. Good groceries. Then you come up here, order your food up here. You see they got a full menu board up there. And a deli case, old school, just like it. Out at my parents' old place, Goodall's Country Store. Used to be able to get good, fresh lunch meats. And then we're going to go further on back. Looks like they got a beer cave. And you can get ice cream. And moving on back is their dining room. Got a few tables here. Yeah, pretty quaint back here. All right, be back when the food gets here. Oh, look, they got John Wayne over here. All right, pretty cool. Also, you see here, they got the old knickknacks, old-timey stuff in here, old toys and collectibles. And they got a pretty wide variety menu. Got all kinds of homemade soups and breakfast burritos. Also, we're here on a Saturday, which they have your all-day menu and breakfast menu. But during the week, they have a daily plate lunch. So one of these days when I'm off work, I'll come up here and get me a plate lunch. All right, so most of the food's here. I got a little surprise coming after I finish this, but look over at the kids' stuff. Look at them big old pancakes. They all call those the big ugly pancakes because they're not uniformed. They're just big It looked good. And Mary's got the BLT. We got fried taters. And I'm gonna go ahead and go over here to my dad. What you got there?
Got BLT with fresh tomatoes, mayonnaise, stacked high. I got the small BLT.
Yeah, he got the one with only 3 pieces.
And we got fried potatoes right here, all sliced up and cooked good.
Yeah, I'd hate to see what the one with the 6 pieces would look like. That'd be huge. All right, I got the biscuit gravy with the runny eggs on top. And y'all know how I do it.
Did you bring that?
I brought that. You see that? My dad noticed. Because just in case they don't have hot sauce, I always bring my little traveler with me. Hold on. I know some of you purists don't want the hot sauce on first, so I'll go ahead and try it before I get the hot sauce on. All right, let me get some of this yolk going through here. And this is homemade biscuits, by the way, made from scratch with the sausage gravy. So here we go. Oh yeah, definitely tell the biscuits are homemade, fluffy, and that gravy, I can taste that sausage going all through it. Mary, what do you think of your stuff?
It's really good.
All right. So now that I've tried it without my conglomeration, let me go ahead and get going here. Well, my Tabasco's not coming out. There it is. And then, of course, I put the potatoes there with it. A little ketchup. A lot of pepper. Now, that's how you do it. All right, we got a couple other things to show. Be right back. All right, so Melissa got the burger, but I'm gonna try some of it before she gets into it. Comes with all the fixings. Look at that. Good and juicy. And they say that their fries are like Rally's burger fries style. But I can tell you they're not Rally's, because these are like more shoestring than what Rally's fries are, but they got that coating on them. Good and crunchy. I definitely recommend the burger and fries too. Be back with my last item in just a second. All right, my last item, when I was asking the young lady about, their signature items, she said their Philly cheesesteak was also good on top of their breakfast and burgers. And it comes with the grilled onion, peppers, and mushrooms. And it looks like probably a mozzarella cheese there on a good, looks like a French bread hoagie bun. So let me give this a shot. I can see why she recommended this. This is good. Oh yeah. I got a feeling they're going to be seeing some new faces in here come this week. A lot of new traffic probably going to be coming here, because this is some good eating. And by the way, I tasted those pancakes I was talking about earlier, the big ugly pancakes. Those have a good unique flavor too. You can kind of taste the sweet vanilla flavor in those pancakes. We all shared with some of those. All right, be back with a little closing thoughts on the store here in a little bit, and then we're going to move on to our next segment, because we got a lot of material to cover here today. So it's going to be one of my longer videos, just warning you. All right, be right back. All right, so this is definitely a specialty grocery. I even got me some merch while I was here. Couldn't pass this up. And they got little novelty stuff like, old candy cigarettes, different things in there you don't see normally. But this is definitely a hidden gem, more ways than one. Not only because it's a quaint, cozy country store you can eat at with great food, but also somewhere along the line, the Kentucky Highway Department decided to circumvent the old community of Cox's Creek, and they restructured Bardstown Road to where you completely miss Cox's Creek now. And the only way you get here is if you know what you're looking for. You got to take the old Kentucky Road. Once you come out of Mount Washington, about a couple miles, take a left on the old Kentucky Road off of 31E, Bardstown Road. So kind of look it up. High Grove has their own Facebook page. It's the High Grove Store Facebook page. You can see their daily specials and all that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the antique store now. So make sure when you come out here, you make enough time where you can go to the antique store next door, the antique collectibles. What's that place called again, Melissa?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway, you heard it. My dad said it when we got here, but it's a really good place. We're going to go in there and check that out. And they kind of go hand in hand and complement each other. Good food, breakfast, and then go antiquing next door. So we're going to move on to that right now. All right. I told you, got the old school gas pumps. I don't even hardly remember how to work these things. They're so old. But anyway.
That's an old school gas pump, but that's a brand new expensive.
Yeah, I like the price too.
But people that tell me keep it this guy says okay.
Hey, I like it. I'm all about old school. All right, now that we're done eating at High Grove, we're here at the antique store. Useful things, antiques. I finally got it right. Anyway, as I said, definitely they go hand in hand. Go to one place, you got to visit the other. And, you know, this is like the heart of the old Cox's Creek community. So we're going to go in and check out and see what kind of interesting things they might have. All right, coming on in the front entrance here, you see it's a pretty good size antique store here. Got furniture, collectibles. See Dad's back there talking to the owner now. But one thing is really interesting is this used to be a skating rink. You can see the original skating rink floor here, which, you know, I guess was a good sized skating rink for, you know, being out in the country. Opened in 1953 and actually operated as a skating rink all the way up into the 1980s. Here's some old pictures of when it used to be a working skating rink. Look at that. You know, there's the front entrance, High Grove Skating Rink. Yeah, I bet you they had some good old times back then out here in the country. And there's actually a pair of the old skates that they used to rent out here. And I was told that this was quite a thriving community back in the last 50, 60 years. And the highway department is going to make sure that it stays rural, unfortunately. But look at this old stuff in here. Got all kinds of antique kitchen equipment. Some really nice collectibles in here. Got old 1960s style booth chairs. Look like that might come out of old bowling alley or something there. All right, we'll be right back and see what else interesting we can come across. Dad, show me what you got there.
I've got us a cooker for our Thanksgiving turkey, 21 pounder. It's going to go in there.
All right, an old-timey turkey pan, roasting pan.
She had several to choose from. I picked this one.
All right.
They're
Can't
well
wait
stocked in here, I'll tell you.
Can't wait to get into that.
I'll take this up front.
Here, I like this old like carnival glass and glassware. Look at those old salt and pepper shakers, collectibles, old cookbooks, patent medicine bottles. Looks like some of them actually got the old medicine still in there. I got a lot of that at my house that we inherited from Melissa's grandmother when she passed away a few years ago. Got a whole room full of that stuff. But yeah, you can got a lot of collectibles, a lot of nice furniture in here.
Yeah, I
You can see a lot of it goes back to probably 1800s. That looks like a pretty primitive headboard there. That's got to be at least 130 years old, wouldn't you say?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah, very ornate. You can see the woodwork there, all hand carved. All right, here's another interesting thing. Got a dollhouse, won first prize at the Kentucky State Fair. Look how detailed that is. Even has like a little picnic out front. Then you move around to the back. And it's got all the different rooms set up. Real fancy like. What?
That's not a picnic in the front. It's a birthday party.
Oh, well, it's a picnic birthday party, whatever. All right, that's a fancy dollhouse there. There's a really cool piece here. This is a buffet that's over 200 years old. What kind of wood's that, Dad?
I'm not sure. It's probably mahogany.
It looks like mahogany, and it's only $999.
This looks like it may be rosewood put in there on the inlay.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I don't know if I told y'all or not, but my father's an antique furniture expert. Been in the business for quite a few years. People call him all the time when they're having estate sales. They like for him to come in and give them an idea of what their items are worth. What do you call that, Dad?
Appraisal,
Appraisals, yeah.
but I call them opinions. Around there,
Yeah.
that's all hand done.
Right. Wow.
See how it curves into there, and they chamfer it down on the edges.
Says it goes back to Bowling Green in the 1820s. Wow. What's the name on that?
Quigley, Thelma and Eliza Graham Quigley.
Well, if any of
Yeah,
you
Bowling
Bowling Green people go back to the Graham and the Quigleys,
It's Louisville, Kentucky.
you all should definitely maybe come out here and check this piece out. All right, we're here with the owner, Tanya. Her and her parents own and operate this place. And my dad, I know he said that he knows her parents pretty well, been well acquainted for a few years. Can you tell me how long y'all been in business here?
My mom opened this store here in 2005, so it's been 17 years, minus, a year shut down of COVID, I guess. But we've been strong, and we came back strong. We're super excited about that.
Well, I commend
hoping
you.
people remembered that we're here.
Oh, yeah, I definitely commend you.
The road kind of hurt us,
I was going to say, yeah, they kind of circumvented the whole community here.
Right.
You're a hidden gem in more ways than one.
Well, thank you.
They got you, you got great stuff to offer here. You do have quality stuff, I've noticed that. But then again, you're hidden away, so more than one way to be a hidden gem. Is that off of a merry-go-round up there, that horse?
Yes, it came out of Fountain Ferry Park.
Oh,
My mom
okay.
used to frequent there when she was a child, so
There you go. Looks like Joe Lay's missed out on one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right. So say you've been in business for how long?
about 17 years.
17 years.
We're on Facebook. You can look us up on there and see our pictures. I try to post a lot of what comes in.
And good
but
pictures.
I can't post everything. We have so much stuff. We're about
Mm-hmm.
6,000 square feet. Like he was saying, this is the old skating rink here,
Uh-huh.
They skated and had sock ops and dances here for many years. We hear lots of stories. It's really fun. So,
And my dad is, he's into the quality furniture. And you were telling me, Dad, that they had quality merchandise here. What is your observation?
Well, it's very well displayed, where you can see everything, but they have a huge amount of furniture that you can really see it well. But they have it priced so reasonable. That's why they're so their business has grown over the years. That's why they're still here 17 years later. Most antique shops come and go. They never last that long.
Okay.
But, they're still here, surviving through this, and people can't help but come here to buy this kind of quality furniture because it's such a good deal. It's worth the trip out here. Other dealers come here and buy furniture and take it and resell it. I know that because I know some of them.
Okay.
But
That's true. I
they work
appreciate
with
that.
all of them.
All right. Well,
we're
Tanya.
ready to get signs up on the bypass, okay? So,
Oh,
yeah, just
good.
in a
I was
month or
going to
two,
say,
hopefully we'll
for
let
the
people know
ones
where to
that
turn.
heard me on the intro, you got to take the Kentucky or the Louisville Road off of 31E to find your way back here. So make sure you check their Facebook page, as she said. And Tanya, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. And thank you for that roasting pan I'm going to be enjoying next week. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're out here at the original site of Cox's Station, and this is the only remaining structure that still exists from the original station. Isaac Cox and his brother James came to Louisville from Pennsylvania, Fort Pitt. They actually came here with George Rogers Clark in '78 when they built Corn Island. And then, of course, Isaac and his brother came out here and took over their father's property, which was originally 1,000 acres here in Cox's Creek. And they established this station in 1780. Well, by 1782, it was evident that Cox's Station was a thriving community because by then they had a school and a church established. Cox's Creek, or Cox's Station, therefore, was very important in the early settlements. And as a matter of fact, Cox's Station was the first settlement in what would later become Nelson County. George Rogers Clark, when he established Corn Island, from there settlers would come out and move on up Beargrass Creek and established other stations. Stations were forts. They were referred to as stations back then. But what made this one so important is Cox's Station was the middle point between Corn Island and the established fort at Fort Herod, which is now known as Fort Herod State Park. You can see it, it's a reconstructed fort. And all the stations were pretty much similar the way they were built. They had stockades with cabins kind of situated in a rectangle, and they were all connected by a palisade wall, which I'm going to show you right now in this old sketch of Corn Island. And I'm sure whenever the station came under attack, they would go down, the women and children, I'm sure, would go down into the spring house. But the spring house was primarily used to keep their perishable foods fresh, like milk, eggs, cheese, things like that. They would keep cool down in those cold waters of the spring house. Let's go ahead and go on down in here. See, it goes pretty far down in here. Yeah, I can see this being a well-protected place. I know the dirt over the years is kind of raised up from what it used to be, but anyway. So anyway, James and Isaac, the brothers, they established the community, and then by 1788, Colonel Isaac Cox was killed in an action against Native Americans in Shelby County, and his body was brought back here to Cox's Station and was buried here. Unfortunately, the cemetery, which is in the vicinity of this station, has been lost over the centuries. There's no more headstones. We don't know the exact markings of the graves because there's nothing left to show, but it is recorded that it was in the vicinity of the spring house in Cox's Station. Also, I want to show you something else. We'll be right back here. But as I said, Cox's Station played a very pivotal role in the protection of the early settlers. Starting in like 1779, you had Indian agents, Alexander McKee and Simon Girty, who were commissioned by the British government to attack all the settlements in the Ohio Valley area, which of course included Cox's Creek, or Cox's Station. You had all the bluegrass stations were constantly under attack by Simon Girty and Alexander McKee's Indian forces that they had put together. By 1783, the end of the American Revolution came. You had the peace treaty signing of Paris. But then for about a year later, you had what would be referred to as the Northwest Indian Wars. So Cox's Creek still played an important role on the early settlements of the Louisville area and of course Nelson County. 10 years ago, You see here, there was a commemorative plaque that was placed here by the Daughters of the American Revolution, Cox's Station chapter. I spoke to a couple of those ladies, and they were very gracious and gave me directions on how to get out here. So anyway, I hope that this brief little history was informative, and it shows just how important that these, early stations played a role in the settlement of Kentucky. And we're going to head on back to Cox's Creek now, and we're going to finish up there at High Grove Store. All right, so we've reviewed the High Grove Store. We've gone into the Useful Things antique store, showed you all around there. Come on out here, make a day of it. We've gone on to Cox's Station, showed you the history of how Cox's Creek came into existence, going back 242 years. And of course, we honor the memory of Colonel Isaac Cox, who founded this community. Even this stretch of road here is called Colonel Cox Road. So you definitely got to get out here and support local, especially now that the Bardstown Road has circumvented the old community of Cox's Creek. So come on out here, make a day of it. It's a beautiful drive in the country, and y'all don't know nothing about this High Grove store.
Now you know the facts of why I'm on a mission. You're always welcome back to Goodall's Country Kitchen.